Okay, don't remember where I was yesterday. I was somewhere around here. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. We'll start at one definition. I got music too. Okay. Hmm. So the point. Within one file, everything can only be defined one time. But within a program, functions one time, variables one time, but types and templates as many as you want. The reason is because they have to be duplicated for something else to use them. If there's a type, if there's a function that operates on a specific type, like let's say there's a function and one of its parameters is this special type, the type is called car. It's this different data type. And it's in this header file that I include. Well, I have to redefine that type in my file in order to use that type. I can't just start using it even if I've already included that header file. Same thing with a template, apparently. I don't know anything about templates yet, but I understand the general idea, but I'm not there yet, so I shouldn't really spend any time on it. So within a file, everything once, but within a program, since there are multiple files, everything is not defined only once. Some things are defined every time they're used. So in every file that they get used. Functions, no. Variables, no. Templates, types, yes. Types, templates, yes. That is why. Makes sense, I understand. Part 3, exceptions later. Okay. Inline functions, templates, and structs later. Really, we learned templates before. That's cool. Okay. Violating part 1, which would mean that you have two within the same file. We'll say redefinition, yeah. Part 2 will say linker issue, meaning you've got too many that are being linked. So you're in one function, or you're in one file. When you're in your program, and it's trying to link the functions, but the problem is you've defined it in multiple places. The issue isn't a compile time thing; it's a linker issue. So I guess it is during compiling, but because the issue here is it's defined too many times within the one file. The issue here is it's defined too many times within the entire program, within multiple files. Part 3, which would be what, using a template or a type without? Meaning, oh, because they need to be redefined identically. Because if you define that car as having a type, weight, and color in one file, but in another file where you use it, you define it as having a weight and a length, or a volume, or a speed. When you use it, well, what happens? When you do car dot get speed, does it work or does it not? Does it pull from the header file and not do anything because the header file doesn't have it? Or does it pull from the type that you've put in this file and it does get the speed? I don't know. Okay. 3 is undefined behavior. Yeah, because it's not well defined by, or it's ill defined by the language. Excuse me. Because it doesn't say what to do. Yeah, it doesn't tell the compiler what exactly to do when you've got a type defined somewhere and then in your own file. Does it say, I mean, you would think it would just go and get it just like a function, but maybe there's a reason why it isn't able to. Part 1 means redefinition here. So add is defined twice. Dude, just this crispy skin right around here, man. I mean, I guess the solution's probably lotion. I'll probably do that. Okay. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah. So not only is the function defined twice, but you also have a variable defined twice, and both of those are in violation of 1. Because they're not types or templates. Already has a body, see previous definition, meaning it's already been defined, yo. And then integer's already been defined. Go see the declaration. The first time this motherfucker exists. Okay. It is not in violation for it to have a local variable and add to also. Well, yeah, because isn't it within the scope? So within a file, it cannot be, or a variable or function cannot be defined twice within the same function. Or within the set scope. So different scopes, cool. Within one scope, one definition. So if we have one scope for the main function, one scope for another function, having that integer twice, even though it's the same identifier, it doesn't matter. It is allowed. Functions, I don't think they would. Why? But functions. What scope is the function even need? You can't define a function within the function. So X could be defined in multiple spots, but the function cannot. Because I don't know what other scope a function would even get. A variable would get a different scope because it's in a separate function. Because it's a local variable, and its scope begins and ends with the braces in which it is in. The closest braces. It's defined twice. X is defined twice. Yo. 2 years of glasses and I'm getting LASIK. Yep, see the previous definition. And then see the declaration of X. Okay. Yep, different scopes, makes sense. Makes sense, because they're distinct. Yep. Yep, these are separate objects because it's different scopes. Different sets of parameters too. Oh yeah, because that made sense, because... Yeah, in the function header I can define, or sorry, in the, at the top of the program basically where I do a function declaration, I don't have to say what the names are, I just say what the types are. If knowing that is enough to go and find the function, that means that if there were two declarations of the same identifier, with the same types, integer, integer, same identifier, integer, integer, it's not going to know which one, so you can't have two of them be the same. But if one was integer boolean, then I guess different. Different sets of parameters, distinct functions. Interesting, okay. Function overloading. Okay, I don't know what overloading is. So a function prototype, that's the same thing. I think that's the same thing as a pure declaration. So prototype is basically, I don't know what's called a prototype, but it's, I'd rather just say function preview or function, I would just say pure declaration. It sounds like that's what it is. It's telling the compiler in a statement, hey motherfucker, this function exists. Take a look at it, get a good look, cool. Now go find him. Oh, look at that, he exists. Or rather, when you see him, then go to him. Instead of bitching at the very beginning. just in case it's defined after a function. Because if we're in main, and then this other function add is defined under main, then when we're in main, the compiler will bitch at us because it hasn't seen add yet. So we give it a preview, we give it a prototype, we give it a pure declaration. Tells the compiler that it exists. Ah, true. Yeah, so what does it include? What is it? So that's what it is, that's its purpose. What does it include? It has its return type, so integer. It has its identifier, add, and then it has its parameters, integer, boolean. It's got 3. What else? Yes, it did. Oh, and optionally, the parameter names. It doesn't have to be. Yep, no body, makes sense. What is a forward declaration, motherfucker? Isn't that this? Oh wait, because there's pure declaration, forward declaration. How do we declare it? You do the function's header. Basically the function without a body plus a semicolon. Oh, well yeah, these are synonymous. And a forward declaration is the prototype. But that's what it is. I guess we're just learning that these are synonymous. So, prototype, forward declaration, pure declaration, all these things, same. So, a forward declaration is basically saying a forward pure declaration because declaration is usually a pure declaration. Because technically we're declaring it whenever we're defining it. But if we're specifically declaring it without defining it, that's a pure declaration. Like there is no such thing as a pure declaration for integer x, because anytime you say integer x and then semicolon, it's being default initialized, which means it's instantiated once the code executes, and it's given a little spot in memory, which already has a value in it because it already does, and then you're just stuck with it. But that happens upon declaration, which means it's definition. Declaration equals definition for variables. Write the function declaration for this function. Well, that's easy enough. Integer do math. Integer first, second, third, semicolon. And for each of these functions, say things. Ooh, lots. 5 things. A, B, C, D, E, O, F. Oh, 6 things, really? Nice. Failed to compile, failed to link, or successful. Okie doke. Okay, so we have main. We are using standard character output to say add. We know what add is. Oh, but we're passing it 3 arguments when it only has 2 parameters. So that should be a fail to compile because it doesn't have the right number of parameters. Okay. Man, again, add 3 parameter. Motherfucker. Excuse me. The declaration is wrong. Excuse me. So it shouldn't be a fail to link. When is the linker again? Is it when the declaration is incorrect? I don't remember when the linker is an issue. Because I guess the linker is what not only links the files to each other, but also links the declaration and the prototype, or the declaration and the definition of the function. So it finds the definition after and makes sure that they're both cool. This sounds like this might be a link issue, because the syntax should be okay, because this guy technically exists. It has a prototype, but they're wrong. Was it when it was defined twice? I'm not sure. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, it's the same error basically. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, there's not a function that has what it's looking for. It didn't feel like linker, and it definitely doesn't compile. Main. What? Oh, okay. Add 3 and 4. Yo, isn't this the same? What am I missing here? We're passing it. Isn't that gonna say the same thing? Because we can't add, it's missing an argument. So the problem is, it doesn't link. So the function's been declared. The call has the proper amount of arguments for the declaration, but the definition is wrong. So this is a different function than this. So we've declared this function, and the linker is going to say, yo, we've declared this function. We do not see it being used. So the problem here is wrong number of parameters, wrong parameters, compile, compile. In this case, it's a linking issue because parameters are correct, but the functions are different. So there's no linking going on. The linking will fail. No add that takes it was ever implemented. Only implemented that. Yep, makes sense. Okay. 3 parameters, 3 parameters, 3 parameters. Oh. Why'd you spoil it, yo? ZYX instead of XYZ. But it's int, so if the names are optional, then wouldn't this compile? Or would it be a link error? Well, it said that the functions are unique based on the return type, the identifier, and the parameters. But not the names. The names are optional. So it sounds like return int, add indent, return int, add indent. It sounds like either this compiles or there's a link issue that I haven't seen. I'm gonna put my money on compiling. Yep. The types match, so these guys get linked properly. The parameters match, so it compiles properly. The names don't matter. Which would it properly pass though? I'm curious. Does it? Well, I guess this is just saying that he works. And these don't matter. And these are not the order in which these are given. It's this order, the order that the function actually implements. The names are optional. Okay, makes sense. So we got main, add. Okay, the arguments match the function. Or we'll say here first, the arguments match the declaration, add, cool. So it's either it's gonna compile or there's a link issue. We'll see. Oh, indent. Okay, it'll compile and link. The difference here is that these names were actually just omitted, so we're fine. Yep. Yeah, because then we can actually know if we had int. If this was generate car, we'd do int weight, int this, int that, compared to being like, I don't know, what 3 numbers would a car get? A size? Is it just volume? Is it length, width, height? No, it's speed, acceleration, and then deceleration or something like that, or weight, something like that. Okay. Here's another. Oh, something looks wrong here. Okay. This is weird that you have both like this, but okay. So we're adding. Interesting thing is this doesn't. This should compile and link. And the reason is because if this function wasn't here, there'd be a link issue, it sounds like. Well, if this function isn't here, it would be a compile issue because it would say there's no add that takes 3 parameters. If this guy wasn't here, yeah, so compile issue, wrong parameter. But because this guy exists, when we do add, it'll say 2 parameters, 3 parameters. There is an add that does 3 parameters. I'm thinking this works. Yes. It just doesn't use this guy because these are 2 distinct functions to the identifier because they have different parameters. Sounds good. Oh god, multiple code files. The entire reason I haven't been fucking with C++. Well, 50% of the reason. One of 2 reasons rather. I don't know what the percentages break down. How the percents break down, but oh, let's see. We'll do what time? Oh, not Osu.
Welcome to us.
God damn it.
Click See you next time.
Okay, 10 more minutes will do. The two reasons I haven't used C++ are, well, three I guess. One, not needed. I've been just learning things as I need them because that's the fastest way of doing it. So like, if there was a way to make me bike 1% faster and pedal a little smoother by biting my tongue while doing it, if I'm a kid and I'm learning how to bike, I'm not gonna magically find that out because it's not needed for me to bike properly. I just get on, pedal a little, fall, repeat, eventually I learn. And then years down the line, maybe I implement this extra thing. C++ isn't needed, it's biting my tongue. It's needed for jobs, but it's not needed for my current use case, which won't be my only use case, because I have my personal project, but I also have the long-term goal of being a big old VR guy. So, one, not needed. Blueprint is working pretty well. Two, the syntax. I can just take an array, set an array element of it by right-clicking and typing in set array element. Boom. And I don't have to worry about what parameters that node is going to get or anything. None of that. I don't have to worry about any of that shit. It's already in there. The IDE won't automatically show me everything because I put a function in and then there's 3 parameters and I have to know that this one's degrees, this one's this one's a float, this one's this one's that. 3 of them I don't even use. All this wasted time just to use a function I could have obtained by right-clicking and searching add values. Would have been easier. And then finally, different files. Because now, well, I guess it's not that big of an idea because what, you have implementation files and then you have, well, I guess it's all source code. You have the program, well, the program's the whole thing. So, well, you have header files and then you have whatever the files are that include the header files. I don't know what they're called. Like source files, I guess. I don't know if you, I mean, it all should be source code, but okay. Split it, makes sense. Yeah, you put all your functions about the car shit over here and then you bring them in and use them instead of having to define all that in your same file. Yeah, I'd just rather have like 300 files of 100 lines of code each instead of one with 30,000 lines. It's just so much easier to figure out. Should be. Because then you just keep on using inheritance to go to the included files and then find the shit you need as you need it. Instead of having it all implemented in one big thing. It'd be like 20,000 lines of definitions and then finally you actually do shit. Oh, because I guess you can see them. Or adding new files is easy. Give a CPP extension. Okay. Well, let's do that. So what? We right click them. Excuse me. Add. And then what? Add new item? Add new item. Okay, then we'll add new item, show all templates, CPP, call him second file. Look at that. And I can right click him and then kill him. I don't know what I did. I built. Oh. Okay. Yeah, hello world.cpp and then second file. Okay. Don't care about code block, guys. VS Code. Okay, here we go. Take a look at a single file program that wouldn't compile. Main. Add. Yeah, it's because add is defined after main. Or at least declared after main, so main doesn't know what it is. When it reaches it, it doesn't know what it is because it hasn't been defined. I mean, you should say declared, because if it was declared, then it would work. It doesn't have to be defined until line 9, that's fine. A similar multi-file line. I hope I get to use inheritance here, that'll be so cool. Okay, in one file we have the function's definition, and another function, or in another file rather, we call it compile error because it doesn't know what it is, duh. Yep. Yeah, and this is cool in case one of them's, well, I don't know, I mean, I guess maybe it has a speed implication. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, treat them all independently so you can recognize when one changes, and don't treat it all as one holistic thing, where when one changes, the whole thing changes, and you have to recompile the whole fucking shebang. No thanks. Reduces the possibility. Oh, because I guess if you remember everything, then you'll say that there's a conflict. I mean, scope rules and whatnot would apply though, so I mean, it shouldn't really, but maybe. I don't know enough to definitively say. Cool. Namespaces, that's cool. Oh. Fuck. It'll work. I don't have to do inheritance yet. Interesting. I guess it's for classes, so inheritance isn't needed here. So does the program automatically know? I don't know. Makes sense, yeah. Can't reorder because they're in separate files. Yep. Hit him with a full decoration. We add, we already know because he's been declared. Add CPP is fine, the same. When it compiles, it knows what add is. Because it compiles everything. But if it doesn't remember, oh, well, I guess the point is it knows here, and then the linking will do the rest. So the compiler just goes into each file and says, are you cool, bro? Are you cool, bro? Are you cool, bro? It'll go in this one and say, are you cool, bro? Function. Okay, there's a function declared. Oh, you're using a function, but look at that. It's declared here. Cool, bro. I don't know anything else. I don't know what that function is. Or rather, I don't know what that function does. That's up to Link Man to figure the fuck out. I'm just the door guy. I don't actually stamp your ticket. I just shake your ID. The next guy will stamp your ticket and get you going where you need to go. So, the linker connects these boys. And the linker will go and check, yes, yes, oh yeah, you got that ticket, you need to go in that room over there. Cool, you gotta go over there. So it goes through each one just like the compiler, it sounds like, and links all that shit together, yo. Okay. That's cool. I didn't think it would be so easy. Damn, still more shit. Okay. Okay, let me turn the fan on. Okay. I need to stop recording and upload so that I can keep going. Fuck, did I touch it? No. Glasses are fading a little. It's just reflection, I think. Okay.